It's Liz from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you so much for joining me again today for another Simple Stamping Saturday. We like a Simple Stamping Saturday. So, I am using the white note cards and envelopes. I'm choosing my words very carefully because we are in the middle of transitioning from Whisper White, which is what I've got here, to Basic White. At the moment, the Basic White is not in stock in Europe, but we are expecting it very soon. So, fingers crossed. So, in the meantime, I'm going to use Whisper White. And I'm pairing it with the Dragonfly Garden stamp set and punch. So that comes out as a bundle. So always the best way to buy a stamp set and punch if they're in a bundle is to put the bundle into your shopping cart, because then you get a 10% discount. If you put them in separately, you won't get the discount, so do bear that in mind. So I'm using this butterfly here. I could just as well have used this one, but I'm using this butterfly here, the wings and You're an Inspiration. Just 2 ink pads. So we have got Soft Suede and Bumblebee. The reason I have chosen Bumblebee over any other colour is because it is in the Designer Series paper, and I wanted to keep within the Designer Series paper as much as possible, although I am using Soft Suede, which isn't in the Designer Series paper. In the paper, it's Basic Black, Blackberry Bliss, Bumblebee, Calypso Coral, Misty Moonlight, Mossy Meadow, and Whisper White. So, as I say, I'm using Soft Suede because I wanted a softer colour rather than anything as stark as black. So I've got my note card, and I've got my stamp ready on its block, and I've got the sentiment ready on its block as well. I'm actually going to do the sentiment first because I want that down in the corner ready to position the dragonfly around it. So I've just inked that up, and then I'm going to take a breath and stamp, leaving the stamp on the card for a wee while so that it's got a chance for the ink to transfer across. And then that's all nicely done, and I can take my dragonfly, being careful that I've now over inked that. I don't want to rock my stamp when I stamp it. So I'm just going to place it down and hold it steady again so that the ink can transfer across. And there we go. Because I didn't rock, we haven't picked up the ink off the edge there, but we've got a nice stamped image. Don't need that anymore for the moment. And I've got the wings mounted up. Now you might think that there is a missing stamp because there's only this one set of wings, and it tends to suggest that it's for the right hand side, but actually, as you can see, it's not really for either side. It's meant to just be a sort of splodge of colour, so don't worry about that. It is intentional. So ink that up. Now I have to say I used So Saffron on the first one by mistake, but Bumblebee is what it's meant to be, and Bumblebee is what I'm using this time. So that's that side, and all I'm doing is just kind of hovering over, and then when I think I'm in the right position, stamping down. And I'm literally just doing this movement to see that I get lined up on top of the stamp. If you're worried, you could use the Stamparatus, and then obviously you could get exact placement, but I'm not that worried, so if I was a little bit out, I wouldn't concern myself. So that is that stamping. So we can fold our note card in half, and I know I say it every time I do simple stamping, that you should use a bone folder to get a nice crisp fold on your note card. So that is our card, and then for the envelope I've just used the little cluster of dragonflies, this one here, and I've used Soft Suede on this one. I'm going to use Bumblebee on the second one, just so that you can see the difference between the two. So I've got my stamp mounted up. Very conscious of the fact that I've got one of the inked up stamps very near my elbow. So I'm going to move that out of the way, ink up my stamp and just again stamp, hold it down for a short while and bring it up, and there we've got our lovely little dragonflies. So this is the one that I did earlier. This is the one I've just done with you. Whoops, flying cards, flying dragonflies, flying cards. So this is the one I've just done now, and you can see that there is obviously a difference in the finish because of the envelope. So if we look at the stepped up versions, for these I've actually used the Memories and More cards and envelopes. You get 20 cards and 20 envelopes in the pack, and they come with printing on the inside of the envelope flap and on the outside of the envelope, which is jolly pretty. And for the card you have printing, and it's dandelions all over the front, and that's in Bumblebee, which is obviously one of the colours in the paper. You can get Memories and More cards to go with these cards if you wish, but I thought I'd show you how you can use them without using the Memories and More cards. So this is my first stepped up version. So I've stamped the sentiment on Whisper White again, and then I've trimmed it down and punched it with a soft suede background using one of the Take Your Pick punches. I will list that in the description bar below. There are a number of those punches now that you can choose from, so any of them would be great. The piece for the sentiment is slightly wider than ½ an inch, so I've just put the card in and made sure it was central from the back before I punched. And then I've just punched these out of the designer series paper and added some of the metallic pearls, which come in both gold and silver in the same pack. So that's the first stepped up version. No need to decorate the envelope because they come decorated. And then for this one, I have stamped in Versamark with gold embossing for the sentiment, and I've just fussy cut round that and popped it up on some dimensionals. And then these are on vellum with gold embossing, and then on the reverse I've coloured with the dark Mango Melody stamping blend, so you get the nice soft yellow through the wings. And I've just done 3 again, and in both cases with the ones that I've punched out, I've adhered them down with our wonderful multi-purpose liquid adhesive. So really good glue. It will stick them down nicely whether they're on vellum or the designer series paper. So there are our 3 cards. We've got our really quick and simple. That would be great for just popping out for thank you cards. And there is a thank you sentiment in the stamp set. We've got thank you for your kindness, so it would be great for thank you cards. Then the Memories and More cards with designer series paper and a punched element. And then we've gone for stamped heat embossed on vellum, and again heat embossed and fussy cut for our sentiment. So I hope you've enjoyed that. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and do remember to subscribe, which you can do in the bottom right hand corner. I am now doing live videos on my YouTube channel. I do those at 10 o'clock on a Saturday morning and 3 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon. That's UK time. So if you're anywhere else in the world, please make sure that you've got the conversion right. So the other way of making sure that you know when I've gone live is to hit the notification bell, and then you'll get a notification of when I go live. So always a good way to make sure you don't miss out. Thank you very much indeed for joining me today. Have a fantastic weekend, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye!